are back. The GLI Sports Guys, Jamie Stuart, Andrew Rappaport. After about a year hiatus, courtesy of Greater Long Island, Andrew and I are rekindled our friendship and our love for national, local, high school sports. And we're going to bring it all to you. Rap, it's been a lot of changes recently. How have you been, buddy?
Good, very different, but good. I just couldn't stay away from you. I don't know. It's been a while, and now we're back together again. I can't believe it's been a year, but here we are. My old life is done. This is my new life. GLI, here we go.
We want to talk about a bunch of things, I mean, we run the gamut. You're Mr. High School. We got a lot to talk about regarding Long Island state champions in lacrosse and baseball and softball, pro sports. Islanders have the number one pick in the draft coming up. If you've seen James Hagens from Hop Hog as a potential number one pick, so you've got a vocal part of the fan base who's like, bring him home. It's such an amazing story. And then you've got other fans who are like, yeah, it's a great story, but he's not the best player. Let's pick someone who actually can help the team now.
I was on Team Hagens coming to the Islanders, but then I realized this is not the Long Island Ducks. We're not just bringing home hometown favorites. They need the best player possible.
Hey, there's a potential that they can pick one and they can maybe trade back in. Who knows? A lot of things they can do. I think UBS Arena is having a draft party, by the way, next Friday. But Rap, you love the high school scene, and we've got a bunch of high school state champions, like I mentioned, in lacrosse and baseball and softball. So you were upstate. Tell us about it.
I would love to see the Islanders do what Cold Spring Harbor girls and Bayport Blue Point girls did this weekend. I was up at Cortland for the Girls Lacrosse Championships, or what Half Hollow Hills and the Garden City boys did up at Hobart College and bring home boys state championships, because Long Island proved once again that Long Island lacrosse is where it's at. The other regions are nice, but Long Island lacrosse is and always will be the best.
We got an undefeated state champion, right, in Hills. So that was great. Cold Spring Harbor, was it the girls' back-to-back state titles?
Yeah, back-to-back state titles. They weren't undefeated this season, but back-to-back state titles in Class D, which is, listen, no easy feat. Class D on Long Island isn't great, but when you get up to the state tournament, it's pretty good. For the boys, as you mentioned, Half Hollow Hills, and they did it in record-breaking fashion. They won their first ever state title. It was a combined effort between East and West, and one of their players, Anthony Rayo, broke the all-time Long Island record for goals scored.
All right, we are now joined by the all-time lacrosse goal scorer on Long Island, Anthony Rayo. Anthony, state champ, check. Undefeated season, check. Is this like the best year of your life?
Yeah, it's definitely been a good year for me and my teammates.
I mean, I'm glad that you mentioned your teammates, but I mean, has it worn off at all, the fact that what you've been able to accomplish individually and team-wise, it really doesn't get better than that?
Yeah, it's definitely been a surreal season for me. I mean, obviously getting all the awards and honors that I have has been really special, but the thing that was always on the forefront of my mind was that state championship. So for me and my teammates to, do that, it's been, such a special thing.
I know the goal is always state championship, and all team players always say that. But in the back of your mind a little bit, right, you had to be saying to yourself, I really, really, really want this goal record, right?
Well, I mean, actually, when I did end up breaking the record, I had no idea that I was even close to it. My dad actually knew about it, and he didn't tell me. He's like, I mean, obviously, that's not something I was, like, really thinking about at the time. So, after I scored the goal and then they announced on the PA system, I was completely surprised by it.
I mean, the way Long Islanders go, maybe that'll last a year or two. No, I'm just kidding. Hopefully it'll last a while. But I mean, you seem to be a team guy, and you guys lost in the LIC, I believe, last year. So like you said, this was on your mind to get over that hump, to win it all. You capped the undefeated season, winning the state title. Just take us back to, as the clock's winding down, you're ready to run on, go crazy on the field. What was going through your mind, the flood of memories as your high school career came to a close?
What was going through my mind was honestly something that me and my teammates had talked about, the night before, being in the hotel room, that just making that kindergarten, first grade version of myself proud, you when you're in those years of your life, you think about playing for a state championship and winning the Suffolk County championship, just like you see other teams do every year. So I remember we were in a Christian Kohler tournament. It was freezing rain, and my dad had said like he would give us cookies if we won. We were excited about that. So just like memories like that this team's been together for so long that there was no way our bodies were going to let us lose that game, and that's just it goes back to the connection that we had from kindergarten on.
What kind of cookies were they?
Probably chocolate chip.
The only kind.
Let's rewind actually a couple weeks before the state title, the Long Island Championship, right? Because that game was kind of crazy. When you got past that game, which obviously was in question until the very end, but when you got past that game, did you realize that, okay, now that we're past that might be the hardest team we play. We're going to be able to do this.
I think we tried not to think that way just because of what happened last year with Farmingdale. We kind of underestimated what the team that they were, and we didn't give them the respect that we probably should have. So I think it was like that's just another step to our goal, which was a state championship. So keeping that level head, letting everybody know on the team that like this thing isn't over until the last whistle sounds in the state championship, and we're holding up that plaque. So that was the message to the team, was just stay level headed. Keep going, and treat every team with respect, because in lacrosse a lot of times when you don't, that can come back to bite you.
I believe you became the first Long Island team since Cold Spring Harbor in 2017 to win an undefeated state title, which is pretty nuts. So it doesn't get better than that. Now that it's all said and done and it's sunk in, I want to ask you, how good were you guys?
I think we were actually again talking about this yesterday, how I don't think we realized how good we actually were, because, in our eyes, we're still just, kids that play lacrosse, just like anybody else. But, looking back on it, rewatching the game with my friends, watching some of the goals, we're like, wow, we really were. Like Ray might have said we were. So
it must be awesome watching the highlights of the game when you know the ending.
Yeah, especially in that Massive People game, knowing that ending after rewatching is definitely relieving.
You want to probably play a couple more games with those guys, right? You don't want to end it with the States. You just want to keep going.
Yeah, I would do anything. I would give a limb to play with those guys again. Those are my best friends for life.
But now, moving ahead, UNC, correct?
Yes. So,
I mean, what are they telling you? You're about to become a Tar Heel?
They're same message, just getting back to work and getting staying on track to get the Tar Heels back to championship weekend. Just like everybody, again, just like my little kid self, whose dream was to win a national championship. And we have a bunch of guys from Long Island. Gary Merrill, he'll be my roommate. Parker McDonald, I think we got a special group going down there, and I think we have a great chance.
How would you sum up your senior year? Final question from me.
I think it's just remarkable. I mean, from playing football, getting to that Suffolk County championship, which I never really would have thought I would be playing if it wasn't for my coach Trevor Filardi. When I was in 4th or 5th grade, make me play tackle football, and then pushing me to keep playing and stay on the football field and not get too distracted with lacrosse, and like kind of drill into me the importance of being a 2-sport athlete. So to cap it off with this special lacrosse season and being able to play the most amount of games I could and being on the right side of every game that I could have was just, I couldn't have asked for a better senior season.
Bill Belichick loves 2-sport athletes, so.
I know.
I was just about to say that.
So.
Yeah, say hi to the hoodie for us.
I will.
Congratulations, Anthony. Thanks so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So while Anthony took care of the record books on the offensive side, James, we have someone coming up now who took care of the record books on the other side of the field. Maya Soskin, the standout goalie for Cold Spring Harbor. People have been talking about her since she was in 8th grade. And you know what? She finished her career with 2 state titles and the record for most saves ever in Long Island history.
Well, here she is, the state champ, Maya, Jamie Stuart, Andrew Rappaport. How does it feel? It's been a few days now, back-to-back state championships. You're on top of the world, are you not?
Yeah, 100%. It's been just like a dream these past couple days. I mean, everything we've done, I think we're just so grateful we got to do it with each other. So it's a little bit bittersweet, but it's been really exciting.
There wasn't much drama, should I say, in the final 10 minutes or so. So just take us back to that feeling. You're in net. You kind of know you've got it. Like, what was going through your mind?
I think the most important thing for us was savoring every single moment we had out there. We knew it was our last game with our teammates, and no matter what the score was, we wanted to have fun and leave our mark because it was the last time we could, and just be with each other and be really present.
Okay, now, but be honest, because in the semifinal game, you were down 4-0. And I was standing there on the sidelines and I'm thinking, can this really be happening to Cold Spring Harbor? Is this how they're going to go out? And then all of a sudden, you score the goal to make it 4-1. Liv scored that goal. You made a big save, and then things clicked. So, what were you thinking down 4-0, and how did things turn around?
There was, a little bit of anxious, a little bit of freaking out, but the most important thing that we've really focused on all year was just being together. I think looking to my teammates after a goal, no one was freaking out. We were all calm. We all knew our abilities. We knew what we could do. We knew how far we come. And I think it was just that belief, like no matter how far we go down, we know we can come back, and never letting that doubt set in and kind of take over.
And second straight state title. So, like, tell the folks at home, like, what's the difference between a championship team and a team that's good, but just doesn't get over the hump? Maybe it's the fact that when you're down, you don't panic and you know what it takes to get there. Like, what is that championship ingredient that you guys have?
Yeah, I mean, for us, we were at the state semis for my freshman and sophomore year. We lost both times. So I think it's just a lot of experience, trusting yourself, trusting your teammates. We've been with each other since most of us since freshman year. And, you know, knowing how hard we've worked. And again, like you said, not letting small things tear the entire game down. Like we went down 4-0, but for us, that was just a moment in the game that we were going to move past and focus on what we could do better next time.
I like the fact that we're bringing on a goalie, by the way, a goaltender, because you never really show those highlights, right? Maybe a save once every couple months, and we just show like behind the back shots. But GLI, we're bringing on the star goaltender. You're the final stop, so congratulations.
Thank you.
And she's not just any goaltender. I mean, I go back a while. I've been doing girls lacrosse for a while, and she's definitely in the conversation of one of the top 3-4 goalies I think I've ever seen. I want you to brag for a second. I know you probably don't like to talk about yourself, but now looking back at your career, because you've had a few days to think about it now, you have the 2 state championships, you have the record for saves. How great of a career did you have?
Wow, that's a big question.
I'm nervous about your answer.
Coach Castellani's been talking about you since you're like in 8th grade or something, building you up. So now it's come full circle. Now it's time for you to talk about yourself.
I think for me, when I first started, I was just kind of like, I was super shy. I didn't really know how far I could go with this sport. I talked a lot with my coach about this. It started off with just, not even knowing if I could believe in myself to be this great. But I had my teammates and my coaches who pushed me every day. And without that belief that they had for me, I would not be where I am today at all. I think it came with a lot of experience, like I said before, and it's honestly been a dream come true. I worked pretty hard, and I think that was a huge key to it too, just putting your head down every day during the off season on days where you don't feel like doing it. Those are the most important days that just get you to the end and help you.
And now,
Gators are going to be a good one.
I was about to say, and now you're moving on and you're going to play your college ball down south. How excited are you?
That is just another dream. I mean, it's one of the things that I've been looking forward to so much, trying to savor my senior year, but being a Gator, it's something that I'm just so grateful I'm going to get to experience, and I know I'm going to have a great time.
Maya, congratulations. Great job.
So much.
Rap, you and I have been known on the Long Island sports scene for like 20 something years. So we kind of know the lay of the land. So it's good to be back with you.
It is. It is. It's fun. I don't know if we have to be like those radio guys on those city radio stations start screaming to make everybody watch us, but we know what we're talking about.
No, I only scream at you during football season. So we got a little while.
Go
Let's be
Bills.
mellow. All right. Thanks, everyone.